Hello, everybody. Hey, evening to all of you that take the time to spend a few minutes with me here on SML TV. Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, they tell you on these tutorials, they do, and they go to great lengths to inform you that you only have 3 seconds to grab your audience. This is what they say. Have you heard this? I hear this all the time. I'm a vlogger, podcaster, semi-pseudo podcaster, so you have to know this stuff. And they tell you got 3 seconds to grab your audience. I'm thinking, how am I going to grab my audience in 3 seconds when I have to play an intro first and then go into a few pleasantries and then dive into the subject? It's not like I turn on the camera and start speaking at 100 miles per hour. Come on, guys, give me a break. Guys, it's great to have you. Thank you. A few shout outs before we begin. And as you know, as is my custom, I love to jump on here before the news, 15 minutes before the news. It gives me a chance. Honestly, it does. It gives me a chance to sort of mull through the day and share with you my impression and my feelings about what I've heard during the day. And I think 15 minutes is a beautiful sweet spot. Honestly, really, I really do. So a few shout outs to you guys. Collins, hello, Collins. Edinburgh, Scotland. He's a Scotsman. We've got Scotsmen watching us. Unbelievable. That's my feeble attempt at a Scottish accent. He's a Scotsman. We love Scotland. Thank you so much, Scotland, for following. Hello, Namo. Is it Namo? Right. Here it is. That was ridiculous. What was ridiculous? Tell me, what happened? Am I missing something? Was something ridiculous? Oh, yeah. You're talking about the story. Yes, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this. This is Winga. Oh, this lady here, I've known this lady for years. And I was so pleased the other day. I haven't seen her in many, many years, but you know, she's one of these friends that you see them after years. And when you talk as if you've seen them, you just saw them yesterday. I was over at you guys know that my mother recently opened a restaurant. And every so often, you know, I try everything I can to promote the thing, you know. And every so often I'll go there and have lunch. Well, the other day I'm having lunch and boom, she pops in, Winga comes in and, you know, we say hello and it's always such a pleasure to see her because she's so supportive of this channel. And Winga, thank you so much. And thank you to the rest of you guys for doing the same. So guys, let's get into this, okay? Because, right before I jump into that, may I please make a recommendation? I first heard the great actor, Morgan Freeman. He once said that the only real marketing that a movie has is word of mouth. And if the first few audiences can't walk out of the movie theater and say things like, you know, I really like this film, or if they can't say to a friend or a neighbor, you know, I saw this really good film and I think you should watch it. If people can't say that, you can market a movie all you want. You're not going to get very far. And having said that, I said all of that to say this. My wife and I, we've been watching this film. It's a television series on Netflix. It's called Beef. Have you guys seen it? Tell me in the comments below. Have you seen this? Have you been watching this Beef? It is it's a bit hilarious. It's salty. It's got a bit of salty language in there. You know, when I was a young Christian, I couldn't watch. I could not stomach films with cussing. You know, but the older you get, you think, oh, well, what am I going to do? You know, am I going to mute the thing the whole time? So anyway, this television, this Netflix television series is called Beef. And I find it amusing because it throws me for a loop because what I'm watching is Korean Americans and Chinese Americans using a lot of Ebonics. Do you guys know this? Are you familiar with this word Ebonics? Huh? Are you familiar with Ebonics? They use quite a bit of Ebonics in there. Ebonics is the way African Americans speak. And it's a bit strange to hear Chinese Americans or South Korean Americans or Korean Americans speaking using Ebonics, you know. But I would recommend the film, the show, the television Netflix series. It's pretty interesting, you know. There's a comedian on there, a lady. She's originally a stand-up comedian. She's in, I forget her name now, but I've seen her do stand-up. She's quite good in this this television series. There's a very moving scene in a church. I won't give it away, but you should watch it. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Let's get back on topic. Guys, did you hear about this? I heard this on the radio today, could not believe it. Did you hear about this? Was in the news, okay? An Indian government official, this is over there in India, drains a water dam to retrieve his cell phone. Apparently the story was, okay, he wanted to take a selfie and he was standing next to a dam. And lo and behold, the phone, he had a Samsung phone. It was a Samsung phone worth about $1,200. Okay, it slips out of his hand, falls into the dam, and this guy proceeds to have people drain the dam just to retrieve his phone. And here it is. And he's been suspended. He's been suspended after he ordered a reservoir to be drained just to retrieve his phone. I'm thinking, why would you do that? Have you not ever heard of cloud computing? I mean, everything's in the cloud now. Even if you lose your physical device, it's not the end of the world. Now, here's the thing. The guy says, the Indian guy says, well, I had to get it. I had to retrieve my phone because it had sensitive government information on that phone. Now, you may ask the question, this Indian government official, what exactly does he do for the government? Here, this man, his name is Mr. Rajesh Vishwas. Kwatu wakuchipata. You know, no pun intended. He's a food inspector with the Ministry of Health, a food inspector, for goodness sake. He's not the Minister of Defense. He's not the Secretary of Defense. He's not the Minister of Home Affairs. Oh, no. This brother is a food inspector, and he said, I had to get my phone because it had sensitive government information, and I had to just drain the dam. You know how long it took? Here it is. The pump ran, okay? He had to bring in a pump. Initially, what he did was he hired some divers, you know, people that could jump into the water, look for the phone. They couldn't find the phone. So the guy says, you know what? Forget the divers, man. Let's just bring in a pump. Let's bring in a generator. Let's drain this thing. The pump ran for several days, emptying out roughly 2 million liters, approximately 440,000 gallons of water just to retrieve his phone. Now, what's interesting about this whole story, and incidentally, this happened in a place called, what is it called? Chhattisgarh. And the name of the dam is Kirkutta Dam, okay? The guy finally gets his phone, but here's the caveat. The phone doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, you know, water penetrates the phone. the thing just doesn't work. It just couldn't work. You know, it was damaged because of the water. I bet you if it was an iPhone, it would have still been intact. I'm not an iPhone person. I'm just saying, for all of you Samsung people, don't get upset with me. But I guarantee you, if that was an iPhone, it would have still been intact. Anyway, what do you guys think of this story? Is this the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life? Or is it the most ridiculous thing? We got 6 minutes before the news. What do you think? Okay, he's a joker, somebody says. Somebody's asking, where's Sean Tembo these days? Heck if I know. I have no idea. But this story, Febby says, you're kidding me. I'm not kidding. True story. True story. And here's the thing. He tried to justify this action by saying, well, the water didn't have any use anyway. Somebody turned around and said, well, we could have used this water for irrigation, for goodness sake. Where have you ever heard someone say, no, shaya yari onauka. It's okay. Somebody turned around and said, man, we could have used 440,000 gallons, almost 1 million liters of water. We could have irrigated huge tracts of vegetation and agriculture. And I heard this story and I thought, this is just ridiculous. Could you imagine if somebody in Zambia did, well, first of all, in Zambia, that simply wouldn't work. It simply wouldn't. Who are you going to get to drain a dam, for goodness sake? They would look at you like a calf looking at a new gate. We would look at you and say, are you crazy? Have you lost your natural mind? Well, we wouldn't say it exactly like that, but you get the point. All righty. Who's that? Febby says that's crazy. Is that Febby again? Same person? I'll tell you. So he says he wanted to show his commitment for things. Crazy. Cloud computing. Come on, everything's in the cloud, guys. What does he not know that? He's from India, for goodness sake. The tech mecca of the world. Well, not tech mecca, but the tech savviness of the world. Because, the people of India, pretty smart people, Those guys are jacked up. All right, Sebastian says that's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. All righty. One from Kasumbale, Saborda, Zambia, RDC, Congo. John, okay, thank you so much. Right, here's the question. How do you drain a dam? Well, apparently you drain it using pumps, and they did it over several days. Some reports are saying it took 3 days. Others said it took 4 days. And can you imagine people standing around the dam? The pump's going, and the community's beginning to gather and people are beginning to wonder what's going on here. And I'm going to do my best Indian accent. Of course, I'm not very proficient in this, but can you imagine the people gathering around and one says, what's going on here? And another guy says, well, apparently he was taking a selfie. And he dropped the phone in the dam. Now he's hired the pumps. He's coming to drain the swamp. Drain the dam because he wants his phone. Is that the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? Or is that the most ridiculous thing you've ever... My Indian accent is horrible. Guys, don't be upset, okay? It's all in good fun. No harm, no foul. Give me a break, guys. Come on, okay? 2 minutes before the news. Guys, thank you for watching. I love you. I do. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.